There's a version of you that's exhausted right now, not from working too hard, not from lack of sleep. Exhausted from something most people never even name out loud. You're tired of justifying your choices to people who were never going to accept them anyway. Think about the last time you made a decision, a real one, something that mattered to you, and the first thing you did was prepare a defense for it. You changed careers, and you rehearsed the explanation before you even told anyone. You ended a relationship, and you spent days constructing the reasons why it was the right call. You said no to something, and then immediately felt the need to fill that silence with a paragraph of apologies. That's not honesty. That's something else entirely. That's a quiet belief that your choices need to be approved before they can be real. And here's the thing nobody tells you. The moment you stop doing that, not just pause, but actually stop, something shifts. Not in the people around you, in you. There's a concept in Stoic thought that doesn't get enough attention. It's the idea that every time you explain yourself unnecessarily, you are, without realizing it, handing someone authority over your inner world. You are saying without words that their judgment of you matters more than your own. The Stoics called this the discipline of assent. The idea that you are fully in control of what you agree to, what you let in, what you give weight to. Most people treat this as a philosophical concept, but it's actually a daily practice with real consequences. When you over-explain, you are practicing assent to other people's standards. You are training yourself, repetition by repetition, to believe that you need external permission to live the life you've already chosen. And it doesn't stay abstract, it leaks into how you walk into a room, into whether you speak first or wait to see how others react, into whether your joy after a good decision lasts 3 hours or 3 minutes before doubt creeps in. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most of us don't over-explain because we're weak. We do it because we're intelligent. Smart people are very good at understanding how others perceive them. That skill is useful in a lot of contexts. But when it's turned inward, when it becomes a constant inner courtroom where you are both the defendant and the prosecutor, it becomes a trap. You know exactly what people might think, so you preemptively address it. You soften your language, you add qualifiers. You leave yourself an exit in every sentence, and slowly, the real version of what you think and feel and want gets buried under layers of social management. The philosopher Epictetus drew a hard line between what belongs to you and what doesn't. Your choices, your values, your judgments about your own life, those belong to you. The opinions other people form about those choices, that does not belong to you and never did. The problem isn't that people judge you. People will always judge. The problem is that you've been filing those judgments as if they were facts about who you are. There's a specific kind of person who struggles with this the most, and it's not who you'd expect. It's not the insecure person in the corner. It's the capable one, the one people rely on, the one who cares deeply about doing things right. Because that person has spent years building a reputation for being reasonable, being thoughtful, being someone who can be understood and trusted. And somewhere in the process, the explaining became part of the identity. If you stop explaining, who are you then? Are you arrogant? Are you cold? Are you someone who doesn't care what others think? No, you're someone who has finally understood the difference between communication and approval seeking. Those are not the same thing, even though we often use one to do the job of the other. You can communicate clearly without justifying your existence. You can be honest without being a witness for the prosecution against yourself. Think about the people in your life who you genuinely respect, the ones whose presence carries some kind of weight, the ones you'd go to if something real was happening. Now ask yourself, how often do those people over-explain? There's something quiet about people who have done this work. They're not cold, they're not arrogant, but they have this quality where they say what they mean and then they stop. They make a choice and they don't follow it with a nervous footnote. and you trust them more because of it, not less. Because what they say carries no hidden desperation. There's no performance underneath the words. That quality is not a personality trait. It's a practice. It's the result of someone at some point deciding that their own assessment of their life was the one that counted. Let's make this practical for a moment. There's a pattern that shows up constantly. Someone asks you why you made a certain choice, and before they've even finished asking, you can feel it starting. The pull to over-explain, the rehearsal in your head, the anticipation of their objection. The Stoic move in that moment is not to become silent or aggressive. It's to pause and ask yourself one question. Am I explaining this because it adds something true and useful? Or am I explaining it because I'm afraid of what happens if I don't? If the answer is the second one, the explanation won't help you anyway. No amount of words will satisfy someone who has already decided how they feel, and you will walk away from that conversation more depleted than before, because you gave everything and it changed nothing. But if you say less, if you hold your ground without aggression, just calmly, without the excess, something else happens. The other person adjusts to you instead of the other way around. Not always, but often enough. Here's the deeper truth underneath all of this. Explaining yourself is, at its core, an attempt to control how you are perceived. And the Stoics were ruthlessly clear about this. You cannot control how you are perceived. Not fully, not reliably. The image of you that exists in someone else's mind is their construction, not yours. You can influence it. You can't own it. So every ounce of energy you spend managing perception is energy borrowed from the only place where you actually have power. Your own mind, your own choices, your own response to the life in front of you. There's a kind of freedom that waits on the other side of this realization. Not the freedom from responsibility, not the freedom from caring about others, the freedom from needing the verdict before you can move. You already know if the decision was right. You knew before you started explaining. The explanation was never really for them. It was a way of waiting for permission you could have given yourself the whole time. Stop waiting. The moment you stop explaining, not just in conversation, but in the ongoing trial you run against yourself inside your own head, things get quieter, cleaner. The noise that follows every choice starts to fall away, and what's left is something simple. A person who knows what they think, says what they mean, makes their choices, and moves forward. That's it. That's the whole thing. The Stoics didn't talk much about confidence in the way we talk about it today. They talked about alignment, the idea that when what you think, what you say, and what you do are pointing in the same direction, there's nothing to defend, because you're not performing, you're not managing, you're just living. And if that inner noise, the second-guessing, the mental loops, the explaining you do inside your own head before you even open your mouth, if that's something you're still fighting, I wrote something that goes deeper into exactly that. It's called The End of Overthinking. Link is in the description if you want it. Stop explaining. Start living. See what's left.